This is the third class in Perek Hamafkid, which is a Masechtas Bava Metzia on Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Beis and Daf Lamed Daled Amud Aleph. Let's begin with a general outline of this class. The Mishnah taught that if a Shemer Chinam paid for a stolen deposit rather than take an oath, so he pays the owner, he says, I don't want to swear, then if the Ganav is later found, the Shemer Chinam will receive the kefil. The Ganav is found, he needs to pay kefil, he needs to pay dalet or hay, 4 or 5 times the amount, he pays it to the Shemer Chinam. So our Gemara consists of one thing, and that is, the Gemara will ask that a person is unable to be makneh, to give over ownership of the kefil, since it is something that has not yet come into existence. How does the owner have the ability to give over to the Shemer the rights to the kefil if the kefil doesn't exist at that time? So the Gemara is going to ask this question and give the answer. So let's see it now in the flowchart form. The Mishnah taught that if a Shemer Chinam chooses to pay for a stolen item rather than take an oath, then if the Ganav is later found, the Shemer Chinam will receive the kefil. So we have the owner, the Shemer Chinam, and the Ganav. So if the Shemer Chinam says, I don't want to swear, here's the money, and he pays the owner, so later on, if the Ganav is found and he needs to pay kefil or dalet v'hei, he's going to pay it to the Shemer Chinam. So the Gemara brings down a question over here from Rami Bar Chama. Rami Bar Chama asked, but a person is unable to give over something that has not yet come into existence, and he's referring here to the money. How is the owner able to give over to the Shemer Chinam the rights to the kefil if it doesn't exist at that time? Because at this point in the Gemara, we understand that when does the owner give over to the Shemer Chinam the rights to the kefil? It's when the Shemer Chinam says, I'll pay you. I'm willing to pay. So in exchange, the owner says, well, since I'm getting the payment from you, if the Ganav is found, I'll give you over the rights to kefil. The problem is that at that point, the kefil is not in existence. And the Gemara continues and explains its question, it supports its question, and that's why it's in a purple arrow pointing upwards. And the Gemara says, our question is not only according to the opinion that says a person could never sell something that's not in existence. It's even according to the opinion that holds that a person at times could give over something that's not in existence. And that's Rabbi Meir. So the Gemara is going to continue in its question by negating a possible answer, and therefore it's in a purple arrow pointing upwards. And since we're presenting a possible answer and negating it, the words will initially be in green, the possible answer, and then in red when we negate it. And even according to Rabbi Meir that said that a person is able to give over something that has not yet come into existence, over here he'll say that it's not possible. That's like by the fruit of a palm tree that are expected to come into existence. What does Rabbi Meir says a person can give over something that's not yet in existence? By the fruit of a tree. A person could say, I'm giving you over the fruit of the tree. If they make a kinyan, he could give it over to him. Because although the fruit is not yet in existence, but it's expected to come into existence. But here, who says that it will ever be stolen? It won't necessarily even happen. And even if you say it will be stolen, who says the Ganav will be found? And even if you say that the Ganav will be found, who says he will have to pay kefil? Maybe he'll admit that he did this avera of stealing, and a Ganav who admits is pater to pay kefil, and be pater from the kefil. So therefore, how can we understand our Mishnah that says that the owner gives over to the Shemer Chinam the rights to the kefil if the kefil is not in existence? And everybody will agree that in this case, something which is not in existence cannot be given over to another person. And the Gemara answers, Rava said, it's as if the owner told the Shemer when he gave him the deposit, if the cow gets stolen and you pay me, then the cow is yours from now. At this point, we originally understood that when was it given over to the Shemer Chinam? When the Shemer Chinam chose to pay. That's when the owner gave him the rights to the kefil. The problem is that at that point the kefil is not in existence. So the Gemara answers as follows, that actually two things are different than what we thought. Number one, it wasn't done at the beginning. When he agreed to pay. It was done at the very beginning. When the owner gives him the cow, at that point it's as if he's telling him, if the cow gets stolen and you agree to pay me, then you'll get the rights to kefil. So he did it at the beginning, when there is a kinyan, because he's giving him the cow. Number two, he's not giving him the rights to kefil which don't exist. He's telling him, if the cow gets stolen, you'll get the rights to kefil. How? Because if the cow gets stolen and you decide to pay me, I'm giving you ownership of the cow from now. And therefore, since you own the cow, after you decide to pay me, then naturally you get the kefil. So two things changed. Number one, it's not at the time that the Shemer Chinam said, I agree to pay. And number two, he's not giving him the rights to kefil, but rather, he's giving it to him at the time that he gives him the cow. So there's an action happening over there. He's giving him the cow. And what's he telling him? If the cow gets stolen and you decide to pay, you're getting ownership of the cow from right now. And therefore, since you'll own the cow retroactively, which means if we go backwards, we'll see that really he owned it from then, since the story ended up happening, that it was stolen and he decided to pay. So since you own the cow from the very beginning, naturally, who does the Ganav have to pay kefil to? To the owner of the cow. So we'll bring all of that up now in scrolls and in some visuals. And at the time of the transfer, the cow is there to be given over to the shamer. He's not giving him the kefil, he's giving him the cow. And there's also a kinyan being made when he transfers the cow. So we have a kinyan happening, and we have the item that he's giving over to him is in existence because it's the cow. Another thing that we'll add over here is from Rashi, the owner does this because it's worth it for him to make this agreement. Why? So that he can be certain he'll get back the worth of his deposit rather than to only have the possibility of kefil. For the owner, it's worth to say to the Shem Rechinam, if you pay me, I'll give you the cow. The reason it's worth it for him is because if the Shem Rechinam pays him, he got paid and he can be secure of that. Whereas if the Shem Rechinam doesn't pay him, he doesn't know if the Ganav will ever be found. And the last and final thing was a visual. We took away those two arrows because what did he give him and when did he give him? He gave him the cow. And when did he give it to him? At the time of the transfer. So to summarize the Gemara, originally we thought and we understood that the owner is giving the Shem Rechinam the rights to the kefil, and he's giving it to the Shem Rechinam when the Shem Rechinam says, I agree to pay. And the question is, how could he give him the rights to kefil if they're not in existence? And the answer is, he doesn't give it to him when he says, I agree to pay. He actually gives it to him at the very beginning. And what he gives to him is not the rights to kefil, but rather the cow. He's giving him the cow which does exist, and he's telling him, if the cow gets stolen and you agree to pay the kefil, then I'm giving you the cow from now. And therefore, automatically, when the Ganav makes the payment, he's going to make the payment to you, because you are the new owner of the cow.